Every club.
Every day.
The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Daily Manchester United. It's Kieran here, and a little bit of a Wildcard Wednesday for you. And I sort of thought, well, what could we give our lovely viewers? What could we, and listeners, what could we treat them to for a Wildcard Wednesday for what has been a just completely wild and up and down and roller coaster season? Should we go back to the past again? Should we relive the greater times? We do that all the time here because it's been such a woeful season. So I thought I'd just do that again and have a look back at some of our previous semi-final excursions, both in the Europa League and in the Champions League. And of course, the better things start and happen years and years ago. I'm afraid to say that is the case and will be the case for probably quite some time. Yes, we're talking about the I have to look at it here, 2010-2011 season. We're going all the way back to when we faced Schalke in the semi-finals of the Champions League. And the first leg, well, it was a double, really. Schalke 0, Manchester United 2, Giggs and Rooney with a quick-fire double to send us, well, with a good side, with a good lead in the in that stage. And, well, it's kind of... It's kind of hard to look past some great names that were previous there in that first leg. I mean, Manuel Neuer still playing for Schalke in the other goal. Joel Matip playing for Schalke at this stage. Papadopoulos in the midfield. Jeremy Farfan on the wing. Edu up top. And then you also had, well, Manchester United players. Let's reminisce, shall we? Van der Sar in goal. Vidic, Ferdinand as your centre-backs. You have Everett and Fabio as your fullbacks, Giggs and Carrick, weirdly in that weird midfield, Park Ji-sung and Antonio Valencia on the wings, and then Rudy and Hernandez up top. And that sort of 4-4-2 formation that Sir Alex Ferguson got to really get a hold of. And Ralf Rangnick was on the other side in the Schalke bench, or I should say the Schalke dugout. That's the word I was looking for, the Schalke dugout. Second leg was much more convincing, though. Niall will be delighted that Darren Gibson scored on this night as well. Manchester United 4, Schalke 1. United going through to the final to take on what I believe was Barcelona. And yeah, we don't talk about that match. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But Antonio Valencia also on the goal score sheets. Anderson with a double. And again, Berbatov starting up front. That was a match where we went 4-3-3, a bit more attacking, if you like, a bit more aggressive in front of Old Trafford. And yeah, Smalling and Evans in the centre of defence. John O'Shea being played as a fullback with Raphael. And then you had Gibson, Scholes and Anderson as a midfield trio with Valencia and Nani on the wings and Berbatov up front with Rooney being on, I believe, the bench at this one. Wasn't even picked on the bench. There might have been a reason for that. And the reason eludes me because it was 12, 13 years ago. Owen was still playing for Manchester United. He's on the bench and actually came on in the 77th minute for Berbatov. And that qualified us for the final to go to Wembley. And, well, you know, I kind of think, wow, a Champions League final at Wembley. Wow, it was written in the stars. It wasn't written in the stars. It was Barcelona's year that year. But never mind. It is what it is. Everyone gets messied. Everyone gets one. It's fine. Do I feel sad about not seeing this team right now? No. To be honest with you, it was a great time. But it's also one that has a little bit of, well, not fond memories, if you like. Yes, we won that semi-final, but then we went on to lose against Barcelona. And a success rate right now, a hit rate is semi-final, no. Semi-final, yes. Final, no. That's always good. I mean, even the bench for the second leg, yeah, Thomas Kuszczak on the bench with Evra, Owen, Giggs, Hernandez, Vidic and Fletcher all on the bench. I mean, it was great. It was a great side. I find myself looking back at, all of this and all of these amazing times, as we so often do, as we so often seem to do here at the Daily Manchester United. It just happens. It happens every time. And whenever we get a bad result, I mean, the Bournemouth game is, Amram, even he himself said, we should have won that match. So there you go. But, looking at the form we're in right now, it's not great. in terms of being in Europe, seems to have saved us a little bit. We seem to be doing a little bit better in Europe, but it's by no means is that a good thing. We're struggling. We're struggling with goals. Højlund getting on the score sheet was great, and it's just it. It just is. It just is tough to watch. Very, very tough to watch. I also wanted to talk about, the semi-final of the Europa League back in 2016-17. I mean, remember that? Hey, I said Celta Vigo. Everybody remember that? Yes? No? Maybe? I don't know. Can we repeat the question? It was a strange game, that one. Fellaini getting us in front 17 minutes in, and then a goal that comes from Roncaglia to equalise, and then we have Rashford there trying to get himself with the chance, couldn't quite get it. But then in the 88th minute, they do score actually in the 85th minute, but actually we get two sending offs. Bailly and Roncaglia get themselves both sent off in the 88th minute. But to talk about it, you had Sergio Romero in goal, Valencia, who was a winger in that earlier Champions League side. Now playing as a wing back, a fullback, along with Darmian on that wing back. Fellaini, Pogba, and Herrera in the midfield three, with Mkhitaryan, Lingard, and Rashford up top. John Guidetti as well for Celta Vigo at that time. Yeah, both centre backs on either side getting sent off, which was a weird one. But there you go. We got ourselves through that second leg. A 1-0 win in front of Celta Vigo's fans was enough to see us over the line, and we were able to do something with that. And then in that semi-final, we went on to win it in the finals with Jose Mourinho. So it just goes to show you, it really does go to show you that semi-finals could not be a difference maker. I don't know. But yeah, coming up against Ajax, winning the title, winning the Europa League for the first ever time was great. It was a nice trophy to win, and it showed everyone that United could be competitive in Europe. But we've been in and out of the Champions League for a long time now. I hate to say it, we have become a little bit of an established Europa League team. But it is what it is. It really is what it is. Do you remember Odion Ighalo on loan at Manchester United and able to just get us through? That was not quite the case. We had the Europa League semi-finals against Sevilla, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great, was it? Ighalo was great for us, but not the match. Not the match, I'm afraid. Yet we went on to lose that one in the semi-final. Not a great day. We scored early through Fernandez's penalty, but then Suso and Luke de Jong managed to score and get themselves ahead on the day, and sort of gave us a picture of what was to come, really. And that was that. I don't know. It just wasn't a good day. It wasn't a good day at all, because then the return leg, when we went to Sevilla, 3-0 loss. 3-0 loss. That's 2023. When we went to, I'm just sort of all over the place, just a bit like United. But you look at 2022, 2023, when we get knocked out 5-2 on aggregate by Sevilla. That's only a couple of years ago, but even so, you had De Gea in goal, and Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Dalot. Dalot, you could say, and Lindelof still a part of the side. Sabitzer we had on loan. You remember when we had him on loan? Jadon Sancho, obviously now on loan at Chelsea, probably going to come back. We had still had Fred, Wout Weghorst. But to be honest with you, we again, not a good night at all. We just fell apart. We just didn't look like we wanted to be there. And it sort of set a tone for the next 3 years. It was not even 3 years, 2 years. Set the tone for 2 years where no one could be bothered. But hey-ho, it is what it is. We can see now that there is some fight in the team in Europe at the very least. I hope, anyway. Europe's a weird one. But whilst I just sort of take a breather and acknowledge that hay fever's kicking my butt, we'll take a short break. And when I come back, more blathering and hopefully ranting about Europe. I don't know. Come back with me and see what I find.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now. Your body,
every club.
And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
The advert's so good it needs you to play twice. Thank you, Bioniq. How about a recall as well? I know we don't want to, but the 2020-2021 Europa League final. Probably one of the most bizarre finals I think I've ever watched. A game that ended 1-1, and it was just, it was a part of that time where stadia was starting to open up and starting to give us fans in the stadium again after, well, I say after the pandemic, but it was right in the peak of the pandemic. So we only had about 9,000 people watching the match, 9,500 people in Gdansk that night. But still, we had a chance to beat Villarreal. And Gerrard scores first for Villarreal. Cavani equalises in the second half. It goes to penalties, and both keepers have to take a penalty. It goes that far deep into the into the penalty shootout that we just get keepers take a penalty. I'm a fan of keepers taking penalties as long as my keeper scores it, and De Gea didn't, and it was very sad, very, very sad, because I don't think we played that badly on the night. I think there was a lot of heart, there was a lot of passion that night, and I think as well, and the team we had was actually okay. We had Cavani up top, amazing. We had the likes of Fernandes and Rashford, Pogba, McTominay, who's, McTominay now is helping Napoli to top the table as it stands, I believe, as it stands. De Gea in goal. And it sort of came to that love-hate relationship I felt with David De Gea. Yes, I was always a fan of St. David. I always will be. But I think at that time, even we could all see that he was making high-profile mistakes. And whilst he was making some saves, yes, those high-profile mistakes were costing us. And you could say as well, Onana's making high-profile mistakes. Yes, correct. I won't contest with you on that. What I will contest with you is the rose-tinted glasses that are suddenly coming out for David De Gea. No. There's a reason De Gea's contract didn't get renewed, and that's because he wasn't, playing as he was justifying the wages he was asking for. And I think that's a fair decision. Do I miss De Gea? No. Am I glad he's doing well in Italy? Yes, I am. 43 is a weird number, though, David. Go for the number one. You've earned it. But I just think, it's easy to have rose-tinted glasses. It's easy to look back at this squad and say, I wish we were there again. But, this was a team, we had Dean Henderson. He's now gone. Alex Telles. I never really know what to make of Alex Telles. Juan Mata, who I argue was one of Manchester United's best signings in the 2010s to get him away from Chelsea. Amazing. Ahmad was even on the bench. Not used, but he was on the bench. Nemanja Matic, outspoken Nemanja Matic, the war of the words. Donny van de Beek. We did Donny van de Beek dirty, didn't we? We really did. I feel sorry for him all the time. What a player he could have been and should have been, and we absolutely wasted him. Dan James, very, very quick. Used to celebrate consolation goals like they were the goal that was going to win the World Cup, but let him be. He's done well with Leeds in previous seasons as well, so he's a decent player. But I just don't think, apart from pace, he wasn't really as dangerous as we all thought. But every single penalty in that final was scored, apart from David De Gea's. Every single penalty. How's that even happen? How does that work? And yeah, it is what it is. Villarreal winning that night. It happens. It happens. I would hope when it comes to this semi-final against Bilbao or Athletic Club, in Bilbao. I'm hoping we put up a fight. Obviously, we'll have a preview episode tomorrow, which will be very, very nice for you. This was more of a wild card. Get that right, Kieran. A wildcard Wednesday scattergun approach at previous semi-finals. A hand pick of semi-finals in the past and seeing how well we do. Recent history shows that sometimes we make it to the final. One time we've even gone and won it in sort of the last, would you say, 13 years? So, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we've only ever won the Europa League once. It would be nice to win it again. And this feels like our best chance. Cut to the final now being Athletic Club and Bodo Glimt. And you know what? I'd be there to see it too. No matter what happens, I'll be there. I will be there for that. I've always said the Europa League's a much more fun tournament to watch. I didn't. I made it up on the spot. Anyway, bit of a shorter episode because I'm rabbiting on again. We all love that. But hopefully we have a good night in Bilbao. I hope. We'll see, eh? Could do with a boost this season. Anyway, if you liked that somehow and you want to hear more, make sure you do subscribe to the podcast. If you follow us on Spotify or on Apple, you can also please do give us a rating as well, preferably 5-star, but don't let me influence your vote. You can also watch our episodes on YouTube now. It's the Daily GSPN Daily Manchester United podcast. You can watch all of our episodes there, and the title's so long so you don't forget it. See, it's memorable that way. You can also follow us on all the social media. We are at GSPN Man United on X and Twitter. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and we're on Facebook. So make sure you go and follow us, start a conversation with us. We'll most likely come back with some facts, some fiction, whatever you want, really. In the meantime, have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves and see you soon.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.